The mother of all leaks may have just been revealed. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate complete character roster. This one is incredibly interesting. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from Switchforce. Gabe is here, and as an upfront warning, in case this does end up being real, spoilers for the entire Smash roster, possibly. So if you do not want to hear what might be and what seems to be decently legitimate, then I guess this is the place where you should tune out. But Gabe, this is very, very intriguing. It is a complex leak with a lot of backstory, a lot of now verification, and a very, very interesting set of 7 more characters.
Like with every other rumor on the internet, you want to have some grains of salt to go along with it. But there is so many things that are verifiable and factual that I'm going to have to lean towards this thing being real. We know that people are still skeptical, and that's fine. Some healthy amount of skepticism never really hurts anyone. But, God, I have to think this is real right now, Zach.
It's looking like that. So basically, a gentleman who, I'm going to leave his full name out of this, leaked on Snapchat some images from what is like a marketing materials like printing house, a company that prints out posters,
banners,
banners, all sorts of things like that. And we're seeing what is a complete photo of the Everyone Is Here Smash image. So it is shifted and moved to include 7 more characters. Before we get into what's all there, people have gone and confirmed that this dude does work for this company that has worked with Bandai Namco. The company is legit. The dude is legit. The image is looking pretty darn legit. There's also some marketing materials for the upcoming Grinch movie, the CG Grinch movie, and there are images there that have not been seen or released yet. So either this is one of the most complex and incredible fakes ever, or it's pretty darn legitimate. Gabe, let's get into exactly what is included and why it kind of makes sense. We have a really, I think, stellar lineup of 7 characters, and I'll just run them down. 2 Echoes in Shadow the Hedgehog and Ken, and then 5 new characters: Isaac from Golden Sun, Geno, Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven, the legendary Banjo-Kazooie, and then the oddball Mach Rider.
Okay, before we get even into the characters, I just wanted to point out that there is like never before seen like blank Battlefield artwork in this banner as well. So that can't be replicated. Somebody that's like really good, artistically can fake this. But so many of these dots are connecting. The 7 characters here, Zach, you just mentioned them. Exciting. This is a lot of people, characters that people want. Geno is there, which is cool. Banjo is there, which is really cool. Shadow and Ken being Echoes, that makes complete sense. Chorus Kids and Mach Rider, I don't have any affinity for whatsoever, but they're there, and we know that Sakurai does like doing some obscure things. We do have like Wii Fit Trainer in the game, for crying out loud. It kind of makes sense, right?
Oh, I think everything lines up. Just to give you a little background, Mach Rider was a futuristic driving game released in 1985 on the NES, and that would sort of fit, as you said, Sakurai's like weird oddball character. We had Rob the Robot, you mentioned Wii Fit Trainer, we have Duck Hunt Dog, so that seems kind of like a fun little, just goofy extra. But then you get the characters that kind of line up. Geno has been one that people have talked about for a while and wanted. Isaac was teased via Sakurai's Twitter. There's been rumors of a Microsoft partnership in Smash Bros. For months now, and that would be where Banjo-Kazooie fit in. Shadow and Ken, the 2 most popular, I think, Echoes remaining. Chorus Kids and Oddball, but we have heard that rumor before, and we've seen things that kind of maybe made that make sense. And I will point out that a while back there was an angry leak, a supposed leak from 4chan, and it gave this information. Now, I have no idea if these are just coincidentally the same or if they are connected in some capacity, but it was an angry poster who listed all of this. Further connective tissue is that we have the CoroCoro 108 Stages leak. There's currently 103, and there's been some back and forth on what exactly went down with that numbering, but 5 brand new characters, 5 new stages, that takes us from 103 to 108. It's all kind of lining up to seem like this might actually be the complete roster.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. If this ends up being fake, Zach, this has to go down in history as one of the best leaks ever that ended up not being real. Just because
Yeah.
so much of the connective tissue of this makes sense. They looked up the LinkedIn account, and we're not going to share any of that personal information here. But people have tracked this human down. They made sure
Yeah.
that yes, he at some point did work for the company, or maybe still does. Again, we're not going to get into any of that. But yeah, this is some crazy stuff.
Yeah, and they have gone through on like Reset Era and whatnot and shown that moving the characters has made the rest of the image still line up super well. So they mentioned like the blue crystals behind Villager's Net and Ivysaur are seemingly the same distance apart. They basically like nailed every aspect of the image, even with the movement of the characters, the stretching of the scene, the inclusion of the new guys. It is blurry, which is a point that people like to say maybe indicates that it's fake, but this is a zoomed in photo of a Snapchat image, so it's not like some like super high quality render or whatnot. It just is a photo that we're zooming in very close to see who's all there. I think, though, the wrinkle that I want to add to this conversation is I feel like this is real, but I feel like it is real for the release and the post-release content. We've heard for a while the rumor about Jeff Keighley and the Game Awards unveiling the DLC plans for Smash right before the launch of the game as a way to get people even more hyped, and that there are some crazy cool characters in there that are going to be really, really awesome. I like to believe that the 2 more characters before the game is still accurate, that Shadow and Ken will be announced and included, and then the 5 new are the DLC pack that will be released and revealed at those Game Awards, and then, released in 2019.
Yeah, that's a nice bit of speculation there. I don't want to believe that, because then that means that we do only see Shadow and Ken in this hypothetical direct that's gonna maybe happen in November if any like leaks and rumors are to be believed. But
Right.
all of this has me like super excited for what's to come, because clearly something is coming. Right?
Yeah.
Either the direct or whether this ends up being real. And if this is real, I wanted to ask you, because I know you've been a little bit critical of like the Smash package, and we don't deny that there's a ton there is, but you wanted new characters. Is this enough? 5 more?
I mean, if this was in the base game, I think it's just bountiful. I think it is an incredible assortment of new and old, and obviously just like the most incredible roster you could possibly come up with, and it leaves little room for who knows what else. If it's DLC, I still think it's really great. Obviously, you are going to have to be paying a premium on top of the game to grab these extra guys. It would be, to me, a far superior DLC pack than what we saw the first time around. I know a lot of people were very excited by Cloud and Ryu and things of that sort, Bayonetta, but I love this lineup. I will point out that the rumor about the Game Awards said there was like a reveal of a character that was in connection to a franchise/series that was trying to hopefully win an award at the Game Awards. I don't know how this lines up. Obviously, Mach Rider isn't in any 2018 game. Neither is Geno nor Isaac. Banjo isn't there either. Chorus Kid's obviously not, so I'm not quite sure how that
Sonic Forces
ties-
Game of the Year.
God, I don't think so. But yes, okay, so to answer your question very directly, this would make me super happy. I think a newcomer list that includes Ridley, King K. Rool, Simon Belmont, Geno, Chorus Kids, Isaac, Banjo-Kazooie in Smash Bros. This would be beautiful. To me, the Nintendo editions here are far more exciting than another Pokemon. And we were talking about that off camera. Like, do they really want to add another Pokemon? And that sort of, to me, seemed like, and I think other people have pointed this out, like, the missing piece here. Like, why, if this is real, why is there not another Pokemon representative? But as I was telling you before, Gabe, like, Gen 8 is less than a year away. There's no Gen 7 in Let's Go. So is there really a need to push a Pokemon like, say, Incineroar in Smash Brothers?
Yeah, that one maybe doesn't make as much sense to me, and I think that's why I'm going to hold that hope that whatever DLC is still going to be shown at the Game Awards is outside of this. Now, it's also very unlikely that we get like 7 brand new characters announced for the base game, so I don't know, that does seem iffy to me, but a Pokemon would make sense as DLC to me, so I'm going to hold that hope for that still exists in some capacity, and maybe DLC plans haven't even been like finalized, honestly, so that's another thing that I'm going to kind of hold to. That's the light I'm going to try to shine on that right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sakurai said, like, oh, there's not a whole lot left, and we hope that you weren't expecting a ton. So to me, to come out with a direct that has 7 more characters, that's a little crazy. And I cannot see that direct. I cannot see 7 new characters coming from that direct. So if that is the idea, then I would say this is 100% fake. The only way I see this really panning out is if part of it is DLC, because unless Sakurai is just like mentally falling apart, why would he continue to indicate that, don't expect too much, and then they have 7 new characters in the final presentation?
No, I don't think he's falling apart. I think he's like doing some light trolling and playing with people's expectations. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. I don't think he's falling apart at all.
I think it'd be really interesting from a marketing standpoint to have this be the final banner that launches alongside the game, but it's completed with DLC. Like, that would be sort of a, I don't want to say bait and switch, but it's obviously very normal to announce your DLC plans before the game comes out. It just would be like, it's very, we'll use a Smash Bros. Term lightly. It's very taunting to have those characters on the poster and then require a separate payment and a wait to get them. Because to me, like, outside of K. Rool, this has the 3 most exciting characters for me personally in Banjo-Kazooie, Isaac, and Geno. Like, I cannot wait to see, if this is to be real, what moveset Geno has and how Banjo-Kazooie plays. I think, like, honestly, Banjo could be a main for me, hands down.
Yeah, and I know it's easy to get mad at leaks and like, hey, you're ruining our surprises, but for me, it does help build hype, and I am more hyped right now than I was this morning for Smash after seeing this. Like, stuff like this makes me excited about what's coming, and it maybe takes the wind out of the sails a little bit if it all ends up being real, but God, this game is going to be absolutely insane if this does end up being real. We'll have to wait and see, and probably not too much longer before we get some confirmation one way or another. November's coming, and they're saying early November maybe for this direct, and then at the very least we'll see some indication, because if a couple of these characters get announced during that direct, then maybe it will be safe to add a little bit more validity to it.
Yeah, I wonder how like a breaking up of this group would work, because you'd think like DLC, I mean, I don't know, I guess DLC can come in any number of characters, so you could have a case where it's like, okay, Shadow, Ken, Geno, and Mach Rider are announced in the direct, and then they have Banjo, Isaac, and Chorus Kids as like 3 DLC characters with maybe even more to come. I don't know how they're going to handle DLC. We've seen them take so many different approaches with Switch games thus far. It just seems like they surely will have some. People have also shown that this number would fit with the character select screen, although I don't think that's as important as some of the other points, but it would work out, and it would line up quite nicely with one random select slot and everybody else kind of slotted in there. Do you want to give like a final prediction for how you think this goes down and how you think these are unveiled, if they are? Because I guess both of us are saying that we think this is legitimate, accurate. So how do you see this panning out once and for all?
Part of me daydreams about this, where like I saw this, right, and I was like, okay, what if Sakurai comes out and he says, hey guys, I know we told you guys not to expect too much else, and we're going to talk about spirit modes in a little bit, but we want to tell you, the last couple of fighters that are here, and then he talks about 7 brand new fighters, like, as this, like, big surprise. Like, so part of me thinks that would be, like, a really fun way where he, like, downplays it constantly. He's said all along, since the very beginning when Smash Ultimate got announced, he's like, hey, don't expect a lot. So this is, like, one big, more surprise, like, 7 new characters, and 2 of them are Echoes, but whatever. I feel like that could be really fun. I hope that's what he does, but I have no idea what's in that man's head.
Yeah, I still believe that direct / presentation will focus on Spirits mode and a couple characters. It would be freaky to me if they just dumped all 7 of these. I think it's going to be DLC. I think that's what the Game Awards, like, all the rumors kind of lining up, everything kind of coming together. The only one that's odd is Incineroar, so we'll have to see. To me, this would be one of the, as you mentioned, greatest fakes ever if it turns out to be that way. But let us know in the comments down below if you think this is real or fake, and then maybe speculate a little bit on how you think it's going to go down. If it is to be the final roster here, how are these revealed? Where are they at? A 7-character direct would be absolutely absurd and kind of go against everything we've seen thus far. So that seems crazy to me, but let me know. Maybe you have a different way that this works out. We'd love to hear about it. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on the latest and greatest from Switch and Smash. We'll have you covered whenever something new gets unveiled, announced, leaked, or just dropped into our hands. The game is now a month and a half away, and we could not be more excited, especially with the inclusion of Banjo freaking Kazooie, maybe. Just over the moon about that one. Follow us on Twitter and Discord, links in the description below. And until next time, I'm ready for myself and Gabe. Thanks so much for watching. Today, we love you. Switch Force out.